Alright, so this is 1.6, which says measurement of time, and in this chapter we are going to look at the devices which are used for measuring time and the units in which time is measured. But first of all, the standard units of time, let me write the standard units of time over here. The first unit, the longest unit in fact, is year, in which we measure time, like 2 years, maybe 10 years, with 10 years which is called a decade, 100 years which is called a century. So the first standard unit of time is years, and after years comes months, and after months, comes weeks, and after weeks come days, after days come hours, and hours become minutes, and minutes become seconds, and it ends like that. The SI unit of time is second particularly, and the standard unit we mostly use in calculations is actually second in time. Now let's look at most of the devices which are used to measure time. The first device we are going to look at is the atomic clock, which is the most accurate clock of all. Now as you can see in this picture, the time is measured from hours till this unit, which is after the second. Now at the top you can see the date plus the month and the year, and this shows that how much accurate is the atomic clock. Apart from that, the accuracy of atomic clock is also proved by the measurement of its time. It can measure up to 10 into 10 to the power of minus 10 seconds, and 10 to the power of minus 10 seconds, if I write here, must be 0.0.0.0, and it's like 9 zeros after this zero, and it can measure the time up to that point. It is that much accurate. Now moving on to our second device, which is a digital stopwatch. We mostly use that in sports, or maybe measuring laps, or it is just used to measure normal time limits, but it is not that much standard, so it is not that much used, but it can measure up to plus minus 0.1 second. That is its accuracy. Moving on to our third device, which is the analog stopwatch, which you must have seen in most of the films which are related to race cars, naming Ford versus Ferrari and all these films which are related to racing and stuff. These watches are mostly used for measuring time in seconds. As you can see, this is 5 seconds, this is 10 seconds, this is 15, and in that case you can see the 60 over here, which says 1 minute. Now 60 seconds, as 60 seconds is equals to 1 minute, it can measure time up to the accuracy of zero point 0.1 seconds, and that is its accuracy, minus plus zero point 0.1 second. The fourth clock we are going to look at is the ticker tape. Now ticker tape is a bit of a old clock which is not that much used, but it is still used in some of the physical experiments. As you can see some of the dots here, it shows that as the distance between the dots is increased, like you can see the distance here is much lesser than this one. This distance is actually lesser, but this one is actually more farther away, which shows that the vehicle is actually getting faster. uh, Apart from that, the accuracy of ticker tape is that it can measure time up to plus minus 0.02 second. The fifth clock on our list is the pendulum clock, which is not used that much actually, but it is used mostly as wall clocks. The sixth clock we are looking is radioactive decay clock. Now this clock has been used in radioactivity, and most of the use of this clock has been in the field of measuring isotopes half-life. Apart from that, people also use Geiger counters and Geiger clocks, but radioactive decay clock is also in use. So let's revise from the start. The number of clocks that are listed in this chapter is the atomic clock. You have to learn its accuracy, which is 10 to the power of minus 10. The second one is the digital stopwatch. Its accuracy is plus minus 0.01 second. And the third is the analog stopwatch. it it measures time in minutes and seconds, and its accuracy is plus zero point 0.1 second. The fourth one is the ticker tape, which measures up to plus minus 0.02 seconds. And the fifth clock is the pendulum clock. And the sixth one is the radioactive decay clock. And you should also learn the use of radioactive decay clock, which is mostly used for measuring an isotope's half-life. That's it from the video. If you learned and liked, make sure to subscribe, and if you want to learn O levels, make sure to check out the playlist in the description. Apart from that, I have also added the playlist of this first chapter in the description. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.